Hi FlossTube friends, welcome to this episode of Spectrum Farms Needleworks. I'm Ruth and I'm so excited to have this time together with you to talk all things needlework. This is my channel where I talk primarily about cross stitch, quilting, and any needlework escapade that I find myself getting into. I like to share my knowledge, things that I've learned, and I hope you enjoy today's episode. I think I've got something for everyone today, so let's get started. So in my last episode, I'm a little tongue-tied today. In my last episode, I started a new segment on international designers who are international to me. I'm on the East Coast of the United States, and with all of the confusion with the tariffs and things like that, I wanted to find a way to help designers who are international to me. This is Larry. I'm back in my messy sewing room because I've been asked to please show the dogs more. So we have 5 special needs Great Danes. Larry is one of them. We had 5 previously, but our senior Dane passed away in April. So that was a tremendous loss to the family. So we were down to 4. And then recently we added a new number 5. So his name is Echo. Let me see if I can get him real quick. Come here. Come here. So this is baby Echo. Isn't he precious? Say hi. Hi. He is about 11 and a half weeks. He is deaf. He came to us from Pennsylvania, and he's an absolute love. So you will meet Echo and see, well, you are meeting Echo, but you'll see more of him in the videos to come. So thank you to all of you who are so kind and don't mind seeing our dogs. So this is baby Echo. Say bye. Bye. Okay. Just love him. So now you've seen Larry, and Larry is blind in one eye and he's deaf. He's starting to lose the vision in his other eye. So the poor baby, he's been bumping into things, but we're working with him on hand signals and just giving him a lot of love. So that was Larry and baby Echo. You might see the others there. Everybody's moving about. We also have Lucy, who is blind but she can hear. We have Lily, who is blind in one eye, but she has some hearing. And then we have Zeus, who he can see, he can hear, but he has mega esophagus. So thank you for your interest and your love that you have sent for my dogs. So what I'd like to get back to is telling you about the international designers. So because of the tariffs and the confusion with that, I wanted to support designers who were international to me. So I was looking for ways I could do that, because there was an Australian designer I was supporting, but then they had stopped shipping to the United States. That is Echo. Yes, he can bark. So I apologize for the barking, but that's baby Echo. He's now in the other room barking. And the Australian designer had stopped shipping to the United States. So when I was looking for other ways to support international designers, I thought, okay, they have social media I can support. Maybe they have PDFs I can buy. So in my last episode, I talked about Kyoko, who is in Japan, and she had offered a free chart through her Instagram, and it was called Lily of the Valley. And when I showed that chart, I just fell in love with it, but when I showed it, I realized I was missing a stitch. So I fixed that stitch, and I have now fully finished into a keychain. So rather than looking at my hand, well, I'll just hold it up. You can see it. So I added the missing stitch, and I've used a 2.0, I think that's centimeters, ball chain for the keychain. And I ordered this off of Amazon, and it came with the little connector link. I did not do any cording or anything. I finished it how she had featured it, and it's loose enough to where I can hide that connector. So this is my fully finished Lily of the Valley keychain. And what's exciting is I shared my fully finish on my Instagram, which is of the same name, Spectrum Farms Needleworks. And I had tagged Kyoko in my post. And the photo I posted, the lighting wasn't good that day, so it wasn't the best photo. But I posted it, and she reposted it. Not only did she comment on mine, on my post, but she reshared my post with all of her followers and on Instagram in Japan. So that just blew my mind. What a tremendous way that we can support each other through social media. So that was through Instagram. So you can go to my Instagram, find the photo where I tag Kyoko. It'll lead you to her Instagram page, and you can get the free chart there. And you can go back to my last video and find out more information about Kyoko and see pictures of how she had finished it that had inspired me to finish mine this way. So that was my first international designer to feature, Kyoko from Japan. So now we're going to travel all the way to Italy, to Parma, Italy. And this designer I found on Etsy. And I was looking for, you know, Christmas designs and things that were different that I hadn't stitched before. And I came across Artmishka Cross Stitch. And the designer is Gutova, and I hope I'm saying that right. She is in Parma, Italy, according to her Etsy. So I had put in my cart her daisy chart. This is the PDF. I'm going to turn it so you can see it. And I have not stitched a watercolor design, so this intrigued me because it's watercolor, but also because it has ladybugs. And I'm in the state of Delaware, and the Delaware state bug, yes, we have a state bug, is a ladybug. So I really liked this. So this is her daisy. So this is her business name, Artmishka Cross Stitch. These PDFs are from Etsy. And there's the designer's name, Gutova. So that was one design I put in my cart. But then she also had this adorable frog, and with cross stitch, you know, frogging means that we are removing stitches and we want to keep the frogs away. But this was an adorable frog, just called Frog. So then I came also across her Let It Snow, which is a really cute tree. So here's her tree. It's got some swirly designs in the back. It's called Let It Snow. So this is her tree. But then I came across, she also offered Christmas stamps. And this is a collection of 20 stamp size designs. They're called Christmas stamps. Look how cute these are. And I'm sorry if I'm going too fast. Christmas stamps. So at the time I purchased these, she was offering a 25% discount. So once I put them all on my cart, oh, and I got one other thing I want to tell you about. So the daisy, well, I looked up her pricing right now. So the daisy right now is $4.90 US dollars. The frog right now is $6.13 for the PDF. The Let It Snow is also $6.13. And the Christmas stamps, there's 20. 5 per row, 20 of these for $9.80. So when I purchased these, as I started to say, she was offering a 25% shop discount. So I got 23 charts. If you count these if you count the Christmas stamps as individual, and then you count these other 3 that I purchased, I got 23 patterns for $20.11. That's probably less than going to an American fast food restaurant for lunch. So, I mean, what a tremendous bargain that I got these on sale for 25% off. And since I did purchase from her, now she's offering a 10% discount if I reorder, or if I place another order, there's a 10% discount I can apply to my cart. Again, I found her on Etsy. This is Artmishka. She's in Parma, Italy. Her name is Gutova. So if you don't mind printing PDFs, I thought, what a deal. I can totally print these. 23 charts for less than $1 a piece. It's just amazing. And so that was a way this time I could help a designer. Last time was through social media on Instagram, and then this time it's purchasing from Artmishka Cross Stitch in Italy. And I'm such a dork. I bought a a world chart, and I was going to put pins and say, okay, we went to Japan and now we're in Italy, but I folded it up. I thought, well, you guys might not enjoy that, but it was cool for me to see, you know, where in the world I am able to support designers who are international to me. So that might be something that you want to consider, supporting designers who are not local to you. Maybe it's because of high shipping costs or tariffs, or they don't ship to your country, but there's ways that we can support each other and grow our community. Definitely through social media, through purchasing PDFs and other online avenues. There's Zoom meetings, there's all kinds of things we can do. So I was excited to find another designer. I was excited to get 23 patterns for $20.11, I mean, US dollars. I don't know what they would equate in where you're from, but it might be something worth checking out. So that's my international designer for this month, Artmishka Cross Stitch, Anna Gutova, and I hope I'm saying your name right. So go to Etsy and check out her designs and see if there's something that you might enjoy. Okay, so moving on, I want to show you some things that I have fully finished. Sorry for the close-up. I was trying to adjust. One of the dogs was under my chair. So in past videos, I showed you my progress on America by Blackbird Designs, and I am proud to say I have fully finished it into a flat finish. This style of finishing I saw on social media, but I don't know who featured this style, so I don't know who to thank for the inspiration. But what I did was, there's about 1/4 of an inch from, that's the linen that I stitched on, which is Lakeside Linen Flagstone. So let me get in close. So you'll see that's the linen. I did a thin red strip, border strip. I used a patterned, I don't know if you can see that, blue. And then the cording that I used was DMC metallic. Now, this came out a little more knotted than I wanted, but I couldn't get this knot out. But then I thought, well, you know what, it's fine. Not only it adds to the aesthetics, but it looks to me like a flag cord, you know, like a cord that you see on a flagpole, which is what I was going for. It's just flat. It's not a stand-up flat fold, because I have somewhere, I have a stand that I'm putting it on. Now this stand I think is too small, so it sits on the stand like that. But I want to find a different stand for it. This is just one that I had. But I'm really excited to have this finished. And you might see behind me, I don't want to move my camera because it's propped up with a sticky note pad for balance. I'm still working on the quilt behind me. So if you see right here, that quilt was created first by Blackbird Designs and inspired the cross stitch design. And that quilt, sorry, it's the quilt, is in the Higdon Camp book. It's out of print. This is also out of print, but you might be able to find it on the secondary market. There are some generous people that will loan their charts, but I found mine on the secondary market when I purchased it, and I'm just so excited. So here's my cording. And that metallic DMC was no joke to work with. This was my second attempt. I had more of a gold because I was trying to match up with the flagpole. So I had a gold metallic, and boy, I messed that up so bad, I had to throw it away. And then my husband helped me with this one because I used 3 full skeins, and they're very long. They don't come cut, they're very long. And the moment I took the wrapper off, they got tangled. So it took the 2 of us to untangle them, hold them out so I could use my cording maker, my Karnik cording maker, and then finish it up. So I give him credit for the great knot that I could not get out. But I'm excited to have this finished. This is America by Blackbird Designs. It is out of print, but you might still be able to find it on the secondary market. So that was one of my fully finishes. Now I have to finish the quilt. Okay, one of my other finishes that I stitched and finished is, and you might hear some crinkling, it's still in the wrapper. Let me see if I can get it out. It's my very first animal cracker by Stacy Nash, and it's bobbin. I know many of you have stitched this and finished it. And at first I wasn't really into the animal crackers, and I am now. There's several that I've since purchased that I need to work on, but this is bobbin. And I think my board is too big, but I'll just bring it out and show you. This is my finish. There is my stitching. Hopefully the camera will focus. I did stitch the needle. I know some people are putting an actual needle, but I stitched the needle and then I threaded the thread from the bobbin. On the back, I have some wool and probably some dog hair and some threads, but I have wool, like a cranberry type wool. I guess you can see that. Yeah, there's some threads. Sorry about that. Now, something I want to explain how I finished this was the directions call for a dowel rod. I didn't have a dowel rod, but one of my absolute go-to tools is a kitchen skewer. So what I did was I took a kitchen skewer, I took 2 of them, cut them in half to the length that I wanted to use to go inside. You can see how I put them there. Okay, that's the bottom. So if I ever want to swap this out, I can just lift this out. So there's, I did not glue them together, but you can see how I wound some thread around them. You leave open a gap. Okay, so if you're going to use a kitchen skewer, keep in mind there are different sizes, which I learned I have different sizes and I didn't even realize that. So this is the size that I used. This is the size that I found in my supplies as well. So I think you can see there's a big difference in the circumference. Let me go over here. And this is a much smaller. This was too thin to use, so don't use a skewer like this. You want a thicker skewer. I'm going to show you again. So I used 2, but I broke them in half. I cut them down. They just slide out. They're not glued. If I want to use this for something else, I can just take this off. But I think you can see better from the bottom. So I did not glue the skewers together because I needed to be able to manipulate. But what I did do is, this is stuffed with my Mountain Mist fiberfill filling. My little thread got tucked. And as I stuffed it first, and then when I got like the top and the sides pretty well, I inserted the skewers and then I kept stuffing with the skewers inside so I could get it to the thickness and the tightness that I wanted. So just be patient with yourself if you're going to try this method. I think it worked out great. I'm in love with my little bobbin. I'm very excited, and it has inspired me to work on another animal cracker. But with the bobbin, you'll see there's also the little pillow. So here's my finish, there's the chart, but then there's also this little pillow. I made the pillow. Now my tassels are a little wild, but here is my little pillow. There's my stitching. There's my wild tassels. Now the instructions, I think, called to just pin or attach a thread, but I actually made cording. I think this is the tiniest cording I have ever made in my life. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe. And then on the back, I added one of the little berries from the front. I added the year, my initial. What I wish I had done was center the year, but it's okay. I like it. Sorry if I'm moving around. That's my back. That's my front. And then here they are together. So I think you can see that. Oh, so cute. Isn't that cute? I'm really proud of myself for this one. So I don't have my notes with me, so I don't remember what I think I stitched this on straw flower, Lakeside straw flower, but I don't remember the count. Might be, I don't know if that's 32 or 36. It might be 36. The chart calls for 36 needle bling. But so I'm excited. This is my little bobbin and the little pillow. I think they're precious. So another finish that I have is, you may remember I was working on my birthday chart. Last year this chart was a gift from a dear friend, and I can't get it out. But sorry for the glare. This is the chart. It's Plum Street Samplers, Jack's Sweet Shop, the birthday chart. In my last episode, I explained how I had started this 3 times. Excuse me, but I'm excited to say I have a finish. I have a little piece of glue that's going to bug me, but I have a fully finished. This is my first ever tart that I have finished. This is not meaning, usually we put the year. 24 is for my birth date, the day. My birthday is August 24th, so that doesn't mean the year. And this is my first fully finished tart. There's my, I'm going to hold it up close so you can see my stitching. Now, in the border, the little trim, that is mini pom-pom trim, but I added, I don't know if you can see that very well, I added orange beads to give it some birthday pizzazz. So sorry if I'm bouncing around. Here's the direction it goes. So there you might be able to see the beads a little bit better. And I sewed those onto the mini pom-pom trim one by one. So I would hold the trim, I would scoop up a bead, attach the bead, and go on to the next. And that's how I attached it, the beads to the pom-pom trim. And then I attached the full completed beaded pom-pom trim to this design. Sorry, I think I keep holding this in the wrong direction. But it's beautiful, no matter which way you hold it. So there it is. So that was my fully finished, my Jack Sweet Shop. Sorry for the glare. Jack Sweet Shop, the birthday tart. Oh, another first fully finished tart. Okay, one other thing I had shown before that I had finished was the traveling stitcher, and it says, wherever I go, whatever I do, I'm never alone, my stitching comes too. And I made it into a quilted project bag. And I added the little charm. This, oh, I apologize. This right here is a pocket, and the trim fabric says stitch. And I listed on my Instagram both of these fabrics. This is French General by Moda, and this is another Moda design. I think this is Sweetwater by Moda. So that is, yeah, that's the brand. Sweetwater from Moda is the one because it says stitch. I think you can see that. So I lined the pocket with the word stitch. And then on the inside is the same fabric that says stitch. I think you can see that. And then I quilted it. I quilted both the front and the back, but I just did a horizontal line. You can see it there. So it was simple. What I wish I had done was quilted it with this design to follow the fabric, but I wasn't thinking of that at the time. I just did the diagonal quilting line. And then what I think I might do is here on the bottom, I might put a piece of ribbon or something. I think it looks kind of plain because I didn't take the stitch fabric all the way across, because that's where my seam is. I think you can see that. But I'm excited. I was gonna, well, I actually reached out to someone else who makes project bags. I was gonna send this to them and have them do it, but I thought, I can do it. And I knew kind of what I was envisioning, and I wanted the pocket, so I just did it myself. So it's a quilted project bag. Now inside it, I don't have a chart because this chart also came with a secondary chart called Needles. And I'm going to make a thread bed out of that, but I haven't done it yet. And a lesson I learned was this was one piece of linen, and I stitched this too close to the other design. So I only have a little bit of room to work with. So I'm gonna use this same fabric to make a matching thread bed. But I haven't made one before, and I had seen that people were saying how they use an ultra firm interfacing, and the one that I found locally, sorry, my nose is itching, I don't like. It's fine as far as what I want it to do, and the stiffness, I don't like the feel. So I don't know if it's gonna mess up my thread. I don't know if my thread will get caught on this. So I'd really like to know, if you make thread beds, what interfacing do you use? I know the ones I have bought, they're soft and not like this. So I haven't made the thread bed yet because I haven't figured that out. But I will. So that's what's inside my project bag for right now. And that was Traveling Stitcher. But I'm pretty pleased how that turned out. So, something else I have finished, well, moving on to finished but not fully finished, is, let me see if I can find it. I am a member of the Delaware Valley Historic Sampler Guild, and our cross stitch designer this year is Jeanette Douglas. So I selected Summer Alphabet Garden. Sorry for the glare. There's two French doors across from me, and there's a lot of sunlight coming in. So that's Alphabet Garden. I used the called for threads. And I am making this as a gift, so it's still in a Q-snap because there's some personalization I'm going to add to it. But here's my stitched piece. Let me see if I can grab this real quick to put behind it. This might work better. There you go. Now I added Smyrna crosses in one of the Smyrna cross is a great stitch to add. I think I added that to one of the flowers, the center of the flower, and I added, I think this right here. Sorry, I can't see. So you can see how I changed some of the stitches. Sorry, I don't know how this is gonna work, but there's some other ones. So I wanted to share with you how I do Smyrna crosses. A friend of mine taught me, my friend Stacy, taught me this really cool trick to remember how to do a Smyrna cross. And I hope she doesn't mind my sharing it. I don't know who came up with the original thought on how to describe how to do this. And I'm going to try and draw it, so hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I might try my board. Let me see if I can do it this way. Okay, so nope, I don't think that's going to work. So how I do a Smyrna cross, and what she taught me, is think of it like getting dressed. So I do bottom left to top right, and this is not going to be very steady. So you make your first leg. Oh, that's a really bad leg, because I got bumped by Lily. Lily has come to say hello. Say hi, Lily. Let me try that again. Here, let me just draw it first. So I go bottom left to top right. Okay, so think of it as putting on your pant leg. So then you might go top left to bottom right, or bottom right to top left, whichever you do. That's up to you. So then you make your next cross. So you put on your next pant leg. So then what you can do next is, in getting dressed, you're going to pull up your zipper. So when you pull up your zipper, you go straight down the middle. Think of it as pulling up your pant zipper. And then the last thing you're going to do when you get dressed is tighten your belt. So you're going to tighten your belt. I absolutely love this. And yes, I tell myself every single time I make a Smyrna cross, I walk myself through this. So you're going to make your first leg of your cross stitch. You're going to put on your first pant leg. You're going to put on your second pant leg, whichever way direction you stitch. Then you're going to pull up your zipper, and then you're going to tighten your belt. Now, I saw in a Just Cross Stitch magazine where they did this stitch last. So they would have put on their pant leg, tightened their belt, and pulled up their zipper. But I think it's going to depend on how you want your stitch to look, your final Smyrna cross to appear. If you want this stitch on top, or if you want this stitch on top. I do this stitch on top, and if my next one's going to be over here, I'll tighten my belt this way and bring my thread back around behind it. So I'm not, I don't know, it just worked. So let me show you how my Smyrna cross looked on a finished piece. So I'm a member of the Embroiderers Guild of America, and last month at our meeting we stitched a patriotic flag. I'm gonna try this again. Here's my little flag. It's on, I don't know what that is. And so here you're gonna see, let me just try it this way. Hopefully that will focus. So this has Smyrna cross, a rice stitch, and I am not going to be able to tell you how to do the rice stitch. I am still learning that. So let me see. It's on well, I think this is canvas, so it's on a canvas. Let me put this back up. Sorry, this board's too big, but I'll do that. So the blue stars are Smyrna crosses. The Scotch stitch is the red, and then the white is the rice stitch. I'm gonna try and get a little, my stuff's in the way, sorry. Let me try and get closer because I really don't want to move this camera. So that's how you can see the Smyrna crosses were done. I did my leg, my tightening of the belt on top, and then we added these little white crosses. So I haven't decided how I'm going to finish it. I think some people finish theirs into a pin. I thought of a magnet or maybe a scissor fob. I don't know, but I really like it, and I was proud of myself for getting these specialty stitches done. Let me see if I'll use this board. This might be easier to see. Well, there we go. So these are my Smyrna crosses. The Scotch stitch is red and the rice stitch is white. Sorry, I think you can see it there. Sorry if it's not focusing, but I'm really excited to have this finished. I just haven't decided how I would fully finish it. I might stitch my name or something else around it and make it into a name tag. I don't know, I haven't decided, but I really like this. So I hope learning how to do the Smyrna cross is something you enjoyed. So I'm thrilled by it. I hope my friend Stacy doesn't mind me sharing it. So again, I stitch bottom left to top right. So I put on my first pant leg, then I put on my second pant leg, or you can put your pant leg on this way. I pull up the zipper and then I tighten my belt. Again, I don't know who originated coming up with that way to remember how to do it, but it's how I remember it, and I love it, and I'm grateful to Stacy for teaching me that. So I hope you enjoyed that, and let me know if you try it out and you make some Smyrna crosses. Again, just think of it like getting dressed. Okay, so let's see, where am I next? Pairings. I have some pairings that I'm going to be working on. And let me see. Oh, I forgot to show you. This is what paisley looks like. Okay. And let's see. Did I talk to you about paisley? I don't remember. Did I show you paisley? I don't think I did. All right, let me back up for a minute. So my other animal cracker that I'm working on is Paisley by Stacy Nash. Let me pull that back out. That's Paisley. I think you can see her. She's really cute. Sorry, I can't see what I'm doing. So, and yes, there's a needle and there's a thread because I was working on Paisley this morning. And here's my progress on Paisley. I'm using the called for, and I'm working on her head. So I should have gave you fair warning. She only has a partial head, but I'm hoping, I still have to do the fill-in on her dress, I'm hoping to get our head done maybe later today. I think you can see my stitching. Oh, and my camera's gonna fall over. Sorry about that. I'm not used to being in this room. Anyway, that was Paisley. Oh, this struggle's real. Here, let me get her closer. And you know, some of my stitches I'm not too happy with, but I thought, you know, that's okay. It just makes her look more prim. So she is one of my works in progress that I'm hoping to get further on. Back to my pairing that I was going to tell you about. I have not worked on this cross stitch in a very long time. This is Midnight Ride by Blackbird Designs. And I was pairing it with this other Blackbird, Raven Bewitched. Now, I don't stitch Halloween, but I do like the birds, and I like fall and autumn. And now she's got the bird has a witch's hat, and that's okay. This one's called Midnight Ride. So these two I had paired, and I had started Midnight Ride quite a while ago. I haven't worked on this, I don't think, all year. And I think it goes, I'm not even sure which way I was stitching this, but here's my progress, which is not very far. But one of my quilting books that I have had for a very long time is called The Raven. Okay, and I may have showed you this before when I was talking about pairing, but I hadn't started this quilt because I wasn't sure what fabric I wanted to use. And these blocks are big blocks. There's 9 of them total. I want to say they're 16-inch blocks. The finished block is 20 inches. That's a big block. So I had thought about making them smaller, resizing the blocks so it wasn't going to be a massive quilt. I think the finished quilt size, let's see what it says. The finished quilt is 68 by 68. So that's not too terribly big, but the blocks are huge. So, like for example, here's one of them. So I was thinking of reducing the block size, which means I have to reduce the applique. But I also held off mainly because I wasn't sure what fabric. Thank you to Sean Periwinkle Stitcher, who talked about in her last video that the fabric line has been reproduced. I found it. I wasn't going to take it out, but I found it. These are the fabrics that match what's in the book. So I looked online for these, and I was finding varying prices. Sorry, I keep bumping my camera. You might just have to turn your head to see me straight. So I looked online, and I was finding varying prices, and some of them, you know, it's just expensive per yard, and fabric to have shipped to you is heavy. But I found a quilt store in a neighboring state in Pennsylvania, and they had the line. So and it was about $2.50 cheaper per yard than what I was finding on my normal go-to places. So I was excited. Yes, I ordered all of this, which is, I think, pretty much all of what's in the book. But if there's something I'm missing, then I'm just gonna use something from my stash. But I got the main colors. And the store I found it from is Lancaster. Some people say Lancaster, some people say Lancaster. Lancaster Home and Fabric is where I got this from. So I am excited to now get started on the Raven, which has inspired me to work on Midnight Ride. And then hopefully my works in progress will allow me to work on Raven Bewitched. So these are the 3 that I am pairing. The Raven, and Midnight Ride. I think you can see those. These you might still be able to get. I don't think they're out of print. This, I think it was out of print, but I think I saw the book available. It was either 123 Stitch or Fat Quarter Shop. So you might still be able to find the book if this is what you're interested in. You know, and I also think these designs would be great on a project bag. If you just want to make one, use what you have in your stash, and make a project bag out of it, because these designs are great.
and they could be for fall. I think I might change that middle strip fabric. I don't know yet, so I'll have to wait and see what I decide. But anyway, so that's the Raven. So that's a pairing of cross stitch and quilting that I am going to be putting together. Okay, that fabric is heavy, and it came pretty quick. They shipped that right out, so I was excited. So check them out. Okay, now something else I have on my list of things to do is I'm sure all of you have seen Kathy Haberman's recent release called Murder in the Garden. I have it, Murder in the Garden, and I love it. There was probable cause. Oh, I think that's so funny. Now, Kathy's design, Philanthropic Pumpkin, has been the top of my unicorn list for a very long time. Now that I have America by Blackbird Designs, this Philanthropic Pumpkin was moved to the top. I have not been able to find anybody who is willing to loan it to me or sell it to me, and when it does come up for sale, it's usually pretty expensive, and I'm outbid every time. So I'm real excited to have this one, Murder in the Garden. And she, meaning Kathy, she has a fabulous picture walk on how to finish this on her website. So let me show you what I've put together. And then I even have fabric to show you. So I got the called for 20 chocolate milk linen, and I got this from Lindy Stitches. Look at that fabric. It's got some big holes because the pattern calls for DMC pearl cotton. So I have the called for DMC pearl cotton. Now I could not find 744, so I just got regular skeins of 744, but I believe the instructions say you need to use 4 strands. So we'll see how this works, because I'm doing the large version. So here's the fabric and the threads. I also got the pins. I think I got those from 123 Stitch. I'm sharing the love. So I bought different things from different people to complete my kit. Now, Kathy, on her picture walk on her website, I printed it. I printed the picture walk and I spiral bound it. So that way I created like my own little guide. So she's got, I'll show you this really quick, like a template for you to put together. And when you put and follow the directions, because I didn't, and I printed off the picture walk, and then I realized that this little curved pie slice that she gives you directions on, you have to print 4 of them and put them together. And I didn't read that, so I had to go back to the printer and print that again. But so what I did, this is just, you know, I took the picture walk, I made myself a little guide, a little guidebook, a little handbook. And so I keep my little pie slice tucked in the back, some miscellaneous instructions. And then when I watched Kathy's FlossTube, go to her FlossTube, I don't remember what the number is. If I can find it and link it, I will. If not, just go to Hands on Design FlossTube, Murder in the Garden, or go to her website. I don't think it's mentioned in the project walk. I don't think the number, but anyway, go to her FlossTube, because she shows this on the larger count. She shows it completed on a 32 count. So what I've done is I have found the fabric she used. This is it. I am really excited to have this. It is a Christmas fabric, and I don't know if the selvage, okay, I do have it on the selvage. It says, bear with me a minute, Morris & Company, the Oxford Holiday Collection. And it says the spirit to create, so Free Spirit Fabrics. I thought it was a Moda, but it might not be. Oh no, it's Free Spirit Fabrics. Anyway, it's quilting fabric. It feels absolutely lovely. So I've got the fabric she used, And then if I make the smaller one, I was auditioning. This is not wool felt. This is actually quilting, houndstooth quilt fabric. I think it's between these two. So if I make the smaller one, it's going to depend on the linen that I find to make the smaller one. But if not, I'm definitely starting with the large one, and I'm going to finish it with this fabric. Now, Kathy talked about how she used an actual pumpkin stem on the top. I live in a rural area, and I called several farms that sell pumpkins. None of them sell just pumpkin stems. So I looked on Etsy, and I thought the pumpkin stems that I was finding were a little pricey. And I didn't want to go buy a bunch of pumpkins that had the stems attached. But what I did find was a farm in Nebraska, and a very good friend of mine is from Nebraska, and so she's going to be surprised if she watches this. So, Freed Produce Farms in Nebraska, they sell online on their website pumpkin stems, and you can get a set of 10. You can also get dried gourds. So I thought, well, I'll order a gourd and use it as part of my display. Well, they didn't have one large gourd, so they sent me 2 small. Aren't these great? These are dried, little dried gourds. Aren't they great? So those can be used for, I think they were $1. Those can be used for part of my display. But then they sent me a variety of 10 pumpkin stems. So when I get mine made, I have a bunch I can choose from. And they're a little tangled, but like I got this one. That would make an awesome scarecrow. I've got little ones, if I want to make a little one, or a little pumpkin, or just stand up next to the gourds for display. That would be great. There's a curvy one. That could even be a Christmas horn. They also sent a little tiny one. Look at this one. I'm really hoping this one's going to work with my stitching. So they're dried. I also have this one. So I've got, let me show you what I'm doing. I have a box of 10 that they sent to me. So I was very excited to get these. Look at this one. Isn't that cool? So I have pumpkin stems from Nebraska. I'm very excited to have these. I'm excited to get stitching and see how my pumpkin comes out. So now I think I've got everything. I've got the pattern, Murder in the Garden. I've got the live pumpkin stem, well, dried pumpkin stem. I've got the fabric. I've got the picture walk. I've got the floss and the fabric. And I've never, and the pins to complete it. I've never stitched on this type of fabric. Let me show you that again. So that'll be kind of interesting to stitch on with DMC Pearl Cotton. This is the same fabric that called for in her Hair in the Garden, the giant produce. I have that, but I haven't stitched it because originally I didn't think I would stitch it on this, but now I think I might buy another one of these linen cuts to try and make that as well. But anyway, I think that is all I have for today. I've got more whips in progress that I'm not going to go over today, and I've got some ghost stitching that I'm still working on. So there's a lot going on in my household. I'm excited to have my quilting mojo back now that I've made my quilted project bag. But I hope you saw something today that inspired you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Happy stitching, stitch on, and be well. Take care.